Welcome everyone to the Side Draft Podcast, and today we're going to review the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and Grant Enfinger wins during NASCAR overtime, times 3 or 2, somewhere in there. Had a lot of crashes towards the end of this race, but we're here to review the events of this race. In the very beginning stage, we don't have that many notes.
Yeah, it went by pretty quick. We know that Gregson won the pole, and congratulations to him for another pole win.
Yeah, KBM has been really doing a great job at getting the pole for a lot of these races, with whether that be Gregson or Harrison Burton. Todd Gilliland did an awesome job all year.
Yeah, not only did he had speed to win the pole, but he did have speed in the race too, and it really showed.
Friesen would get outside pole. He's always been there around like some of these racetracks at mile and a half. He's been like second place. Came close at Texas for the win. Today he just had some unfortunate issues happen during the race. But before we get into that, we had a crash on lap 3 of this race, so that lets you know how things are going to go from here on out. The 20 of Thorson slams the wall, trying to avoid crashing into other cars. Goes into the wall instead, and his truck would just burst into flames. Couldn't make it to the pit road, so we'd have a long caution there.
Yeah, it's really tough for them. You go through all the trouble of fixing the truck up and qualifying it and practice, and you just get taken out in lap 3. So really tough for them.
Yeah, you can have some coffee or some tea or whatever. Well, you're gonna want some cold water because Las Vegas was extremely hot. So fortunately for him, he gets to go lay on the couch or sleep in his motorhome or something like that. So got a day off at that point, but it's still unfortunate for him. Had like a 10-lap caution.
Yeah, it took forever to man, we gonna get back to racing or what?
But as soon as we get all that sorted out, Gregson would go lead once again. He was just unstoppable in the daytime. Johnny Sauter would also hit the wall, but did not slow him down, and it could be argued that it actually made him faster.
Yeah, it seemed like it made his truck a little better. It's like, boom, okay, I got knocked it into shape now.
Thanks, guys. Whatever you did, this helped. You did it, man. But Gregson would just cruise to a stage 1 win, his 10th of the season.
Yeah, he finished the stage with like 4 seconds ahead of second place. I mean, he really showed a lot of strength right there.
So stage 2 would begin. Trucks running down the pit lane. We had some 2-tire stops versus 4-tire stops. Friesen would get out ahead of Enfinger and Gregson, and he would take us to the next restart. 4 wide on that restart.
Yeah, his restarts got a little crazy. I mean, sometimes 4 or 5 wide, and what's funny is making it work. I mean, it's like, man, these guys is really going for it. It's like the intensity just picked up, and long ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, so, they're like, we want some stage points. We want to get up there and battle for a chance to be in the next round of the playoffs, and they all battled very well and didn't have many cautions at this point yet, because they're going to be. But Enfinger would battle Friesen. Enfinger would get the lead. Friesen would take it back 2 laps after. Would have a 3rd caution. Turn 4, told you that's coming up. The 17 truck of Bo Lamassus into the wall, running 28th. So unfortunate for him. He would take it to the garage, and Enfinger would take the lead from Friesen after the restart. And then with like 6 to go, we'd have the 46 truck. He would hit the wall with 6 to go, no caution. So Grant Enfinger would just cruise on to a Stage 2 win. Teammate Matt Crafton in second. Third would be the 18 of Noah Gregson. Would have John Hunter Nemechek and the 52 Stuart Friesen. And Jesse Little having an awesome day, running in sixth.
Yeah, he had a really awesome truck, running top 10 there, and he always, it seems like he comes to the track, he's ready to play.
Yeah, so maybe throughout the playoffs, if he's still running more races, he might eventually get that first win.
Yeah, he's really shows some strength, when he comes and drives that truck. I mean, he's very talented, and I like to see him out there more often.
Yeah, runs pretty well. Almost won Dover a few months ago. Had some issues with the pit stop there, but eventually he'll get a very good run and win the race someday. But to start Stage 3, would have the 2 truck and the 24 truck. They would take 2 tires coming out of pit road. They would lead us to green, while the 25, Timothy Peters, would have improper fueling penalties, and he would have to start from the tail end of the longest line. So we'd have another 4-wide restart just going everywhere. No one knows what exactly they're doing, but they're going to send it anyway.
Yeah, sometimes they got even like 5 wide. I mean, it's like, wow, man. It seems like, the longer you get in the race, the more everybody starts driving a little more
aggressively.
Yeah.
So the 4 and the 18 battling for the lead. We was wondering, would the heat from 3-4 weeks ago, would it roll over to this race? And it seemed to be.
It seemed a race each up pretty clean.
Yeah, they probably talked it out, played some video games together or something, and put it behind them. And the 98 would join the battle for the lead, and he would take it, while the 49 would spin around, no caution. He would get to the pit lane safely, so the 49 of Chavis would safely get to the pits. While the 4 truck would be battling the 97 for that position. He didn't know he was exactly there. The 4 truck goes up into the 97, and the 4 truck hits the wall. His day is pretty much done at that point.
Yeah, they was battling Johnny Sauter right there, and I guess he thought he was clear behind Johnny and decided to come up. And, I believe his spotter saying, you got somebody high, and I guess he misunderstood and said, "Okay, I'm going."
Maybe he thought he said you could go high, or the guy behind you is high. I don't know. So some sort of miscommunication happened there, or maybe he was already starting to creep up into the 97 before the spotter said it. So I don't know.
Really hated for Jesse right there, because it kind of messed up his day, but I believe he did finish well in the race. He battled back, and
I believe it was close to a top 10, so he did.
I believe it was top 10.
A phenomenal job driving it back up there. The 98, though, would take no tires on that pit stop, and everyone was wondering, what are you doing? You're not running 10th, you're running first. You don't have to do that, but it's Las Vegas. We can gamble. So that's what he did. And
yeah, like the crew chief says, they pretty much, they're just going to stick with what they call and just hope for the best.
So we'd have the 98, the 52, and the 41 all going for the lead there. 41 would get the lead, but then all of a sudden, Johnny Sauter would run him down, while the 41 would be blocking Sauter. But it's eventually going to happen. Sauter takes the lead. And while that's happening, the 52 of Friesen and the 8 of John Hunter will go around. And I believe Grant Enfinger caught a bit of the wall at that point, trying to avoid that.
Yeah, I believe that the 8 got a little bit of the rear quarter panel. Didn't really mess it up that much. Just got him a little loose, and he might scrape the wall a little bit. And Yeah, Grant Enfinger, like he got real loose under Crafton and just put up the track. And
What do you mean, freezing?
yeah, freezing.
Freezing. That would have been crazy though if Enfinger would have wrecked like that and won the race. But Enfinger looked like, when he was, clearing them, it looked like he was got a little bit of the wall. I don't know if it was just like some dust or something. I don't believe the broadcasters talked about it at all, so I don't know.
Yeah, so I believe just freezing just got loose, and then John Hunter's trying to react, and they both spun. But they just had a little bit of damage, but they just continued on.
They did a great job saving it, even though it was a little bit of damage, but could have been a terrible crash that wrecked the entire field. So, talented race truck drivers does incredible things in this for saving those trucks. So, we'd go 3 wide for the lead on the next restart. 21 of Sauter and 88 would battle for the lead. Crafton would take the lead. And then Sauter would take it right back. It's just a game of flea flickers, I guess, with the lead.
Yeah, I believe Johnny Sauter has his little slow on the restarts. It seemed like it took a couple laps, and he was about run off with it. So.
Gregson would get a tire rub from contact with the 16 of Brett Moffitt. 18 would have to pit under green. Something you just can't do with these tracks is miss the commitment line and go in a second time. So
yeah, I believe his tires just went down right there at the pit road. He tried to make it in and just couldn't make that commitment line in time, and just what can you do?
Well, it's like you're going to lose another lap anyway. If you dodge pit road, you got a blown tire, you're not going to make it again without losing a lap. So I think he just stuck with it. And
yeah, it's really unfortunate because his truck is really good. I mean, it had a real competitive truck, and just kind of pretty much ended his day right there.
And then the 52 of Friesen would mow the grass with 22 to go. He decided that the grass was a little bit too tall, so he was like, yeah,
let me try some of this dirt racing again.
Let me get ready for Talladega, and let me just. But the 21 Sauter would lead some more, while the 18 of Gregson would go back to pit road. And another truck wanting to cut the grass would be the 04. He would bring out the caution.
Yeah, the 51 truck was going into the pits, and I guess the 04 didn't see him in time and kind of clipped him, and we clipped some grass too.
The guy that paints the field, he's probably just crying. I gotta do that again. Come on, guys. But 16 of Brett Moffitt would be in the lead at this point on that restart. He would, just split through the field there, and we hadn't really talked about him all day, and then there he is.
He just always shows up at the end. So
the Kevin Harvick of the truck series, apparently. But he would battle Sauter for the win until the 52 would spin once again, creating NASCAR overtime. The 16 truck would lead.
You'd be like, dang it.
And the 2-car would spin, or truck would spin overtime again. And the next overtime, Moffitt would be leading, almost getting to the line to make it official.
Yeah.
And then they'd be wrecking again with the 8, the 38, the 97, the 3, the 25, and the 02. A lot of good trucks that had some great runs that day, or today. And unfortunately, their night is over.
And then the red flag comes out.
So it would be the final restart. You had a few minutes to think about how it's going to go. And then your truck runs out of gas. And then it doesn't matter anyway. Your day's done. Unfortunate for Brett Moffitt. He had a great race truck that just...
Yeah, if he could have just made that to start finish line that before that other wreck happened. Who knows? We might have been talking about a different driver in the victory lane.
It's crazy how racing goes. It's like if one crash didn't happen, someone else would win. Or if one crash would have happened, someone else would have won. So it's crazy how NASCAR goes. Denny Hamlin experienced that last week. We might see that again for the Xfinity and Cup races at this track. But Enfinger would basically, I would say cruise to a win, but Johnny Sauter just couldn't do anything. It was a longer run truck, just nothing he could have done.
Yeah, Brett Moffitt, he did a real good job. He knows the truck wasn't picking up gas, or he just thought he was out of gas, so he just jumped out of the racing groove so everybody can go on, and he wouldn't mess up anybody else's day. But Johnny, I think if he could have had another lap or two, he probably could have went around Enfinger.
Yeah, and so next up we have Talladega, the wild card of the playoffs. No one knows what's going to happen. And now we're going to have to make picks that we're just going to have to randomly pick a driver, I guess, because you can't pick Talladega about skill. I mean, you could, but skill and drivability, it still means something, but it just doesn't mean as much as it does on mile and a halves and short tracks and stuff like that. So who's your pick to win Talladega?
Well, I'm going, since we're in Vegas this week, I think I'd do a little bit gambling and go with the driver that did get a top 10 in Daytona, and I'm going with Jordan Anderson, the number 3 truck.
Going for his first win, and I think that would really help that team if they had a trophy in the trophy case.
Yeah, especially at Talladega too, so I wouldn't count that team out.
Yeah, almost had a very solid finish there at Daytona, but got crashed and still finished in. So we could see Jordan Anderson making the upset of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
As for me, I really don't know. I'm just going to pick one, but I think Todd Gilliland had a lot of speed, and I think he has the talent to race at Talladega, and I think he'll get his first win there. He really wants to put Canadian Tire behind him by putting a trophy right in front of him. So Todd Gilliland is my pick. So look out for the 3, look out for the 4. Counting West Side Drive.
But yes, it's pretty awesome. We didn't pick no playoff driver.
Yeah, because you can't. Because these playoff drivers are going to be so nervous. They're going to be so aggressive that it's probably going to bite them.
Yeah, because Ben Rhodes and Friesen, they're both out of the cutoff point. So, they're going to be trying to get a win or at least get some extra points to get ahead.
One thing I like about this is none of them's like 40 points back. They're like 12 points back, 10 points back. They could drive their way into the playoffs without exactly winning.
Yeah, because look at Ben Rhodes. He was last in the points, and now he's 6th or something like that.
Yes, somewhere in there. So. But they'll be looking to get into the playoffs, and really those 4 guys. We got Moffitt, Sauter, Rhodes, Gregson, Friesen. 2 of those guys has to go home, and you all think that those were the guys that was going to battle in Miami, but now 2 of them's not going to be there.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle. I mean, all the way to Homestead.
Who knows? We might see Enfinger and Haley making it to Miami and battling for a championship.
Yeah, because a lot of people talk about the playoffs and thought Haley wouldn't even make it to the first round, and he clinched his spot in the very first race in the playoff.
Who knows? We could see a completely different playoffs than we saw a regular season. So It's really interesting, but we'll see you in a month for the truck series for Talladega. It's going to be a long time, but we'll still be here. We'll still be here reviewing that race. So we can't prove our picks for a month. So we'll see you then. Thank you all for watching, and hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend at Las Vegas.